Turn that damn juice on!
Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon, as we're going to have plenty of things to talk about here on this Tuesday. Going to get to some Razorback football as we're just 4 days away from Razorback football starting up. We're going to have all those conversations to be had. We'll get into the chat. We'll also have our Alumni Hall question of the day, our heavy hitter presented by HD Roofing and Construction. And, of course, get to everything in the sports world and sports topics that you all want to discuss and have some fun with it. But, fellas, appreciate you holding down the fort yesterday. Anything crazy, interesting happen on the show yesterday? I wasn't sure. Didn't have a chance to check it out.
That was a good lead in right there. Let's just put it this way. I am much happier to be here today than I was yesterday, man. That was crazy.
Yeah, at this exact time yesterday, I was actually in a great mood, which turned into a sour mood immediately. I'm hoping that my great mood can last a little bit longer. But yeah, yesterday was wild. I do not want to relive it. I'm just happy to talk ball, which is what we do when it's game week. And I actually gave this spiel yesterday, but I'm going to give it again because our audio works and there's not a bunch of crazy rumors going on. When you get to game week, all the talk of NIL and we hate the AD, we hate the coach and blah, blah, blah. Should we go to the Big 12? All that ceases to be important. Now we get to just actually talk X's and O's, smash mouth football. How do we stop the stretch play? And that's where we really shine. That's what we want to do here on this show. And we get to do it during game week.
Yeah, no, and that's the great thing about it is that we get to have actual conversations about real things that happened. Like yesterday with Sam Pittman meeting with the media. I guess we're having some players meet with the media tonight. So I'm sure we'll have plenty to discuss on tomorrow's Inside Arkansas Live, if anything of note is said from that. But yeah, it's good. Listen, it's game week. So like, for instance, on Thursday night, we're going to be having our EA Sports College Football 26 live stream, which we know is so much fun. And hopefully this one ends up being an easy one. There's no Alabama A&M on the game, but we'll improvise and have some fun with it. But yeah, we're going to be doing that. We're going to be having a pregame show on Saturday, which is going to be great as well. And of course, the post-game show is going to be had there, and then some other great content the next day, whether it's a report card or the accountability session. So we're going to have a lot of football content. I mean, it's just that's what this week's all about. And we'll have some other things to talk about too, because I know there's plenty of stuff to dive into. But yeah, just being 4 days away. I know Sam Pittman's press conference yesterday. Got to check it out, got to listen to it and everything. And it's always about depth chart, which I know you guys walked through and how that all looks and everything. But just from what Sam Pittman said yesterday, and again, I know you guys mentioned this a little bit, but just to bring it back in, just how'd you feel for Sam Pittman as it is game week? This is, I guess, the Catfish Hole show is the last time we'll get to hear from him. But as far as that goes, what he said, his vibes, the things, like, did you give it an A+? Did it change your mind on anything? Just how do you think from the vibe Sam Pittman gave off about it being game week, are they ready for week one?
Well, we did walk through it yesterday, John, and I think half the people couldn't hear all of it, and then the other half didn't care. So it's okay if we run some of this back again. I think that's fair. Everybody's all right with that. Here's what I will say about Sam Pittman's press conference yesterday. I would say pretty much every year on the start of game week, we get the depth chart that comes out on a Monday morning. And then a few minutes later, we talk to Sam Pittman, and he typically contradicts most everything that is put on that depth chart. That's usually put together by the communications department. And they'll talk to some of the coaches or whatever, but it's not like Sam Pittman sits down and puts that together and sends it to Kyle and says, all right, let's put this out there. So it's usually, we look at that and then we realize, okay, this actually isn't important. It's not a real reflection of what's going on. And Sam Pittman tells us a bunch of stuff that frankly wasn't even on it. He didn't do that this year for the most part. And that pleases me. So like when we look at that on paper, a lot of it seems to be a pretty accurate depiction of what's going on there. So I like that. That makes me happy. It gives me something to look at that reflects how Sam Pittman feels about the pecking order on this football team. It makes for good discussion. So I was happy with that standpoint of it. And maybe that just tells you that they have a better feel for exactly where this team is at, who can help them, who can't, and what that pecking order looks like and is established. So other than that, I thought it was fine. Sam Pittman kind of gave the typical responses that he would leading up to a game week. I think he's like everybody else, kind of tired of talking about it and ready to just see the team get out there and see what they're all about.
Yeah, I think this week is definitely tired of talking about it week. And I think for Pittman, the players, everybody, I mean, we didn't even get the spiel about we're ready to see someone with a different jersey on. Usually we get that one. We didn't get that yesterday. But the thing with Sam Pittman is he usually doesn't have much of a poker face. Like he usually just kind of tells you how he feels, and then sometimes you can react to it. But like I felt like he was, pretty transparent with how he feels. And, he was asked a couple times, do you feel like you saw everything you needed to see in fall camp? You're done with camp. You're going into a game week. And he seemed like a guy that, like you said, Curtis, is like just waiting to get to the game. I'm sure there's going to be things that pop up. I don't think he's under the illusion that this team is just devoid of flaws, that they're all perfectly fine. But I think he feels good about the team and wants to see them in action so he can kind of confirm it. And I don't know how much confirmation we're going to get with Alabama A&M this week, but you definitely get that vibe. And again, the mentality is just different on game week. He's asked about the hot seat. And he's like, listen, dude, we got a game Saturday. Like, I'm worried about how to play. We're just trying to play football. All I can do is control how the team plays. And again, it's very different when Sam Pittman does a press conference in April versus when Sam Pittman does a press conference in July versus when he does a press conference on Monday of game week. Very different vibes, very different mentalities. You could feel that. When you're doing a press conference in April, you're talking a lot about big picture stuff. You're selling your program. Yesterday for Sam Pittman was all about, we play football Saturday. That's what we're worried about. Who's going to play football? Who's going to play well? What do we need to be prepared for? What's our game plan? And that's where his mind should be. And so I think the vibe I got from Sam is that he was relieved because, like I said, he doesn't like talking about all this other big picture stuff. He would much rather just talk about football. And so I felt like a little bit of relief from him of like, we're just here now. Let's just worry about who's in this room and what we can do. And that's what they're going to do on Saturday. They get one opportunity to do it. And I think that's the right mentality, the right way to go about this is forget everything else. Let's just try and play our best game on Saturday and go from there.
And see, that's where, even for us, I know that guys, I mean, how long have we been talking about the season, the leading up to it and talking about fall camp? Like, it's no longer about, all right, well, who looks good in practice or, what's the who's battling out at these positions, all those things. It's no longer that. It is simply game. Everybody's going to get the chance to watch the game. No, there's no, okay, well, the media gets 10 minutes. You get to see them stretch, and then we're going to have these reports. Nope. Everybody's going to see it. And sometimes in 4K of what's this team's going to be like, who they're going to be, what they're going to look like in these games. And that's what's going to be great about it is it's no longer speculation. And that's kind of where with Sam Pittman, I'm sure, and I can share the sentiment of like, it's let's just go play football now. No more talk about the NIL and stuff, which I know will be talked about. But I'm just saying, when it comes to the excitement, when it comes to the rejoicing or the depression or the sadness, it's all going to come down to what actually happens on the field more so than what it's going to be as far as speculation and hopefulness and what one guy's saying or the other guy's saying. It's just going to be that hope.
Curtis, before you make a real point, an interesting one, I just want to say I actually love that bit of Sam Pittman just being like, all right, guys, clean slate. Whatever happens Saturday is all that matters. Whatever happens in this game against Alabama A&M, that is the only criteria you should be judging me on. I like that.
I like that too, man. It's just funny because it's now all those one-liners, all those cliches, it's just real now. Like it's an actual thing. Spot the damn ball. It's about to get spotted. Hey, yeah, they got to play Arkansas too now. They got to see us too now. You're right, they do, and now they're going to. So finally, we're going to start getting some of those answers out there, and I like it. One of the things coming into like the end of talking season at media day and throughout camp, we talked about it all summer. It was like, all right, even if you don't believe it yourselves, it's okay to lie to us a little bit. Talk to us a little bit about why this team is going to be better than the projections, why you're excited, sell us on it. And they've been attempting to do that. And now they just have to go out there and prove themselves right on the field, which fine by me. I'm ready to see it.
Yep.
And it's going to be an easier task, of course, on Saturday. And I mean, I know we've referenced it a few times. I'm sure we'll get into our preview and all that, but we do not expect Saturday's game to be competitive. We do not expect it to be close. We expect Arkansas to be able to handle that. Even if Arkansas were a bad team, they would still win that game pretty comfortably. And so I think it's actually a nice situation for Arkansas where, Hog fans have been looking around the SEC at all these other teams, and some are scarier than others. Some look kind of beatable. Arkansas gets to basically get an extended bye week on Saturday, not play a real game, and watch all these other teams. Watch LSU play Clemson. We'll see how beatable they look. watch Notre Dame play Miami, see how beatable they look. And so I think it's actually for Hog fans, I understand there's a lot of anxiety and there's a lot of questions of, hey, are we really going to be able to make this work on the D-line? Is the offense going to be that improved? Worry about that later. This week, it's week 1. It's football, great vibes, Kool-Aid time, and you get to watch everyone else play tougher opponents.
That's right. Well, and here's the thing. They just released this, guys. These are your 2025 Arkansas Razorbacks.
Those the pigs right there?
These are the pigs.
Who's that up there in the blue?
That's the guy that's gonna. He's the one that keeps everybody in check. You know, he's the cop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's the man. Maybe I need to find a way to zoom in on this picture because the guy directly behind Sam Pittman, that hair, my man, that is incredible. Do y'all see that? Like right behind Sam Pittman. I know it's kind of hard to see, but I'll try to work.
I do see the hair.
Yeah.
From here on my screen, it looks like like a black T-shirt on the guy in the third row. That's crazy, man.
That's hair. That is hair for my guy there too. And also too, I just wanted to give out CJ Brown and his smile. That's Devo vibes, guys. I'm not trying to be that, but that's a Devo.
Also, that's Larry Worth. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, sorry, Larry Worth. Yes, I saw number 3.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay,
we got the double number things there. Larry Worth's feeling it.
Yep, he's excited. So, but yeah, your 2025 Arkansas Razorbacks in the flesh.
Are we sure that's not a black T-shirt?
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I think I know how to fix this, guys. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. Get to the real investigation here.
Yeah, we got to see in here. I'm excited to find out.
Yeah, maybe this will help out. I'm gonna try to just put it as the entire overlay for us and see. That's hair.
That's hair. Yeah,
it is hair. Wow.
Like, who is that?
Is that Muli Pola?
That's what I was about to ask if it was him.
That is electric, man.
Yeah, I like
that.
I
love they put him right behind Sam Pittman. Like right behind him directly. It's like this guy, we're going to put him. And how do you feel about the guy behind him? He's like, well, I can't even be seen in the picture barely.
His whole belly is covered.
Dude, if Frank was just a little bit more about that life, he would have leaned down about 6 inches to where it looks like that Sam Pittman's hair.
Yeah, that would have been electric if they could have made that happen.
And it's close as it is, but now it just looks like maybe a beard of the guy behind him.
Yeah. Well, and also like the strategic way of the outside being offensive coaches on the left, starting with Bobby up front, defensive coaches on the right, plus Scott Fountain right there. So moving back, it's very, very strategic. So I like it. But yeah, those are your 2025 Hogs ready to take on the season. Alabama A&M coming up. And I know we're all excited about it. You should be too, honestly. I know that yesterday was crazy weather-wise. But fellas, I'm looking at Saturday, a high of 78 and sunny. I mean, come on. For late August in Northwest Arkansas, I still don't believe it's real. I still am expecting the weather people to just be like, we screwed up. It's actually going to be 98. But if you were going to tell me that you were going to have sunny weather and 70s, in the 70s in August for a football game, I would have said you're crazy. So I'm hoping because of that excitement, the game, I'm hoping the crowd's pretty good on Saturday. I mean, as good as it can be for Alabama A&M.
That's what I was about to say. It sounds like it needs to be 70,000+ to me in there for this game. And I understand the opponent. Say what you want about the expectations for the season, but it's college football. It's you're opening in your own stadium for the first time in what feels like a decade. And, 70 some odd degrees when it's usually 100. Especially for like a mid-afternoon kickoff. There's a lot of ingredients here and a lot of reasons to go out there and watch this game. And it's the only game in Fayetteville for nearly a month, until Notre Dame, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Based on my limited research of the ticketing apps, it will not be a super packed Razorback Stadium. But hey, I mean, to anybody like listening right now, I'm probably going to wait till later in the week because I keep seeing these prices going down. But like, dude, if you want to see the Arkansas Razorbacks play, you can do it. You can get upper deck tickets for $10 this weekend. Like literally, so there should be, no excuses for anybody that wants to see a game or, doesn't have a ticket and is kind of on the fence. Like it's going to be pretty good weather and they're very available tickets. So excited to see what that crowd looks like. By the way, I was talking to my buddy about this earlier today because LSU obviously plays Clemson week 1, which is a real game. And I was telling him, I'm like, dude, it's so much better to play a cupcake week 1. Because if you play a cupcake anytime outside of week 1, it's impossible to get excited for that game. It just kind of sucks. Like whenever you're playing that mid-November cupcake, but when you play them week 1, there's so much excitement around opening day, week 1. Oh, it's, fresh slate. It doesn't matter who you play, so you might as well play your cupcake then. I think it's actually way worse to play a real opponent and then a cupcake, because then you might start off 0-1, and then it really is impossible to be excited for the cupcake.
Yeah, no, I think that's something that when it comes to scheduling, you just think cupcakes are cupcakes, but it's also about the placement of said cupcakes that make a huge difference in all of it. But we'll continue to talk about all the stuff going on. We'll get to your chats, folks. Want to remind everybody that presented by our friends at Basis Health, where they're changing the way that healthcare is provided by delivering that mobile medical visit to the comfort of your very own home. A doctor will actually come to your home for that urgent care, that primary care, IV hydration, and so much more. It's Basis Health. They're here for you when and where you need them the most. You can learn more at basishealth.org. Shout out to our guy, Dre, for his partnership here with us here at Inside Arkansas. So, yeah, I mean, the crowd on Saturday, I was just trying to think of like what would be considered a good crowd, because just in college football's changed, as we all know. It's not like it used to be where no games are on TV. And if you have a chance to go to a game, you're going to go to it. And you can kind of choose whatever time you want it to be at because it's not on TV. It's all changed. But I mean, what would be a good crowd in y'all's mind? 50, 60,000 for this game?
Well, I'm thinking more than that. I was thinking 65 in the stadium and upwards of 70 announced. That's kind of where I'm at with it. Maybe that's overshooting it. I don't know, but I that's where I'm at.
Yeah, make no mistake. The announced attendance will be much higher than the actual attendance. I think the announced attendance has to be over 65. And it will be, by the way. It definitely will be. I think actual seats, over 60K I'll live with. So I'm kind of right in that same range of Curtis there. I bet announced attendance is going to end up being like 67, 68.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead. What'd you say?
I was going to say that feels about right.
Okay.
But if they get close to 65 in there for this one, I think that'd be a pretty solid.
I see a bunch of people saying 50K. Y'all realize this game's in Fayetteville. Like, this is not in Little Rock. Like, if this were Little Rock, yeah, 100%. Because what was the attendance last year for the opener in Little Rock? Like 48, 49?
Yeah, that's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it'll without a doubt be higher than that. Like, it'll probably be in the it'll be over. If it's not over 60 announced attendance, then like there was something really bad.
Yeah, what was it was UAB was the Fayetteville opener last year, correct?
Yeah, that was a Fayetteville opener.
Okay, I'll be curious to see which I know is different circumstances because it was the third game of the season. You already lost one, but I'll be curious to see what the crowd looked like that. But no, I'm with you guys. I think to me, it's about the eye test because, they can fudge the numbers as much as they want as far as how many people are actually there. But I feel like if the lower bowl is filled and then most or at least half of the upper deck is filled, that'll be a good crowd to me. I'm just going off the eye test. The numbers, and I hate that they do that. I know no one cares, but it's like I hated Bud Walton Arena when the crowds were not great last year. Every crowd was 19,200. It's like I hate that.
I want to see the numbers. Yeah.
Yes, give me the numbers. Like you have the scanners. Just have a little. I don't care if it's some yellow vested person with the clicker. Just do something to give us a ballpark estimate of how many people are actually at the games. But to me, I think that'll be that. I think the weather really helps. I think the time of it because it's at 3:00, right? Or
3:15. Yes.
3:15. Yeah, I got to get the 15-minute difference. But yeah, I think the time of it will be good. I think the weather will be good. It's Labor Day weekend, so that'll help. So I think the crowd will be pretty solid overall. I really do. And I'm hoping that because of that fact, it'll translate over to the rest of the season. But when you brought it up, Curtis, it's another thing that makes me think just the fact that it's just you got to wait almost a month to play another game in Fayetteville. It's just an absurd thing.
It's their fault.
I know. I know. Trust me, I know it, but it's just when you put it that way, it just because I feel like it's a constant thing. I feel like it was like this last year too, where you had to wait almost a month to play a game.
Well, to be fair, John, I'm just gonna say to be fair. I mean, Alabama plays a game in Mobile every year. LSU plays a game in Shreveport every year. Mississippi, they drive up to Madison. Every school in the SEC does this. They play games not in their home stadium all the time.
Yeah, it's a tale as old as time, right? And the first year you get rid of the Arlington angle of this, you decide to go play a damn road game at Memphis. So,
just guys, I'm gonna say it. What other teams play a lot of games away from home in college football? Not D1 Power 5 teams. Those are the teams that go to other places to play. And that's sometimes what it feels like if you're Arkansas. It's like, because you go so many other places to play a game instead of your own dadgum home stadium. You kind of give the vibe that you just are willing to play anybody anywhere just because you want the money or whatever. That's sometimes how it feels, because I looked at some other teams of seeing like how long they go without playing a home game, and almost all of them were like FCS opponents or Sunbelt teams in the early part. Like that's how a lot of them were, and it's just sucks. It just sucks. So, but you're right, Curso. It's the own it's Arkansas's doing. Nobody's done this to them. It's when they chose it, but it's just so sucky.
We would feel entirely different about this this whole schedule. I mean, it would still be very difficult, but if it was as simple as you just didn't have the game in Little Rock and Arkansas State was coming to your place, or you did and you weren't going to Liberty Bowl and Memphis was coming to your place, as they should be. Just either one of those games flipped and you're looking at it going, wow, yeah, this is a banger. Awesome schedule.
I mean, with 12 games, there like one game matters a good bit. And so especially when it's like, 2 games on average per year with Arlington and Little Rock, historically, it definitely makes a big difference. Like if the first 2 weeks were at home, I agree. That would feel a little bit different. And then, I think everyone would be able to go to either one of those games and, we'd see how that works. But for that reason, that's why I think people should jump on these tickets that are $8.
Yeah. Well, and then on top of it too, next year, because you're going to have 9 SEC games, is going to be the year you have 5 road games in the SEC. It's going to be that number. And then we'll see what the exact schedule is looking like. But next year, you're supposed to go to Utah. So it's going to probably be the same crap again next year, even without the Little Rock game. Like you're probably going to go a long time without having a home game again. Meanwhile, you see teams like Missouri playing 6 straight home games to start the year. I mean, I'm over here just thinking how incredible it is. You have 3 home games in a row, and they're getting 6.
I wonder what it's going to look like adding that extra SEC game. You remember the year that Arkansas opened with Auburn?
Yep.
Like week 1? Are they going to do something like that? Or are they going to start mixing them in week 2? Yeah. Or if they're just going to try to do the standard, okay, get your 3 other games out of the way and then let's just get to the league slate. I hope that they don't do let's take the random break in November and play Louisiana Tech or whatever. I don't like that. I get it. Like I understand why they do it because the SEC is a gauntlet or whatever, but I'm going to be anxious to see what that looks like.
Yeah, especially with a second bye week now.
Yeah.
I feel like that random break in November is really, and I know a lot of teams do it. Like I know Bama every year, the week before Thanksgiving, they play a cupcake or whatever. I like the week 1 cupcake personally. That's just my methodology. That's what I like. But yeah, it is going to be interesting to see how they maneuver some of these schedule things. I kind of keep forgetting that they do play 3 home games right in the row in the middle of the season this year. That should be like, obviously it's going to be a big time in terms of wins and losses, a lot of pressure on those games, but that's going to be interesting. That's how it should be. You watch your season get decided at home in front of your fans. You know what I mean? And so I'm looking forward to that 3-week stretch in 2 months.
Yeah, it's just gonna be nice to have it that way. And honestly, when it comes to the 9-game schedule, I'm in favor of, hey, you get your 3 non-conference games up front and then conference games, kind of like basketball in a way, which I know they would have that break of for a bit when it was the AC or SEC Big 12 Challenge or whatever it was. They would, which had some pros and cons, but I like the fact of like, all right, here's your 3. These are your 3 ready. Get your mind right because you're about to go through a gauntlet the rest of the way. I want that type of thing, and that would to me would make it best because then it's like, all right, you don't have the week before the rivalry week of just getting some clunkers, some terrible games. You still have some solid SEC games. So, but I'm sure whatever they decide, everybody will agree with and be on board with. I'm sure whatever it ends up being. So, but either way, we'll have some other things too to talk about, folks. But I want to remind everybody that we're brought to you by our friends over at Walter Christmas Lighting of Arkansas. We're just a couple months away from Halloween, and a lot of you like to go all out on Halloween, not just Christmas, but Halloween. Big holiday is you want to make sure that when your house is lit up like crazy, everyone comes there and they're like, hey, I bet you they have the best candy over there for trick-or-treaters. So have Walter Christmas Lighting help you out because in Northwest Arkansas and in the River Valley, they're going to help install and set up your house with the professional lighting for both holidays. They provide all the materials. You get to choose any of the colors, any of the patterns that you want, and they install the lights. You have free maintenance throughout the holiday season. And they also do all the takedowns in January. So you don't have to worry about that. They get to take it all down for you. And if you sign up For Halloween lights, you will also get your Christmas lights for 50% off. It's that simple. So text our guy Brett today, 479-459-1380. That's 479-459-1380. You can also check out their website at walterchristmaslighting.com or like them on Facebook by scanning the QR code on your screen. It's Walter Christmas Lighting of Arkansas, your local holiday lighting experts. Okay, speaking of, actually, we'll save that for a second. I want to bring this back up for people who were talking about it in the chat I saw. But, the Razorback Raffle's back, guys. It's all the way back.
It's back.
It's all the way back. And you know how I know it's all the way back? Because Hunter Yurchek had this electric tweet getting people pumped for it. I kept thinking that maybe this was just like a what they call like the extra tweet at the bottom, like an additional tweet after a statement, that some people do.
Yeah, almost like a thread.
So I kept clicking on it and thinking that my phone was messing up, or maybe it just wasn't loading to think that there's some. No, it's razorbackraffle.com. Woo. All right, cool. Can't wait. As of right now, though, apparently it is back for this game. It's gone up a little bit, but current jackpot is at $12,450. And the estimated prize, of course, 50-50, $6,225. So we'll see. But man, what a way to get everybody pumped up and excited and ready for this than to pretty much announce it and start doing it on a Tuesday. Jeez.
Not too bad for a Tuesday. We were wondering, I remember last week, like, okay, are they're going to do this? They're going to do it, right? What's going on? So I'm glad that they are. I'm glad that they're not doing the thing where it's like, okay, we're going to start this on, Saturday morning and all you can do is buy tickets or do it at the stadium or whatever. I like the idea of keeping it open for a week and people from wherever can, take part in it. I'll be anxious to see what it looks like. We've chatted about that. Are they going to be able to generate the same interest that they did over a full baseball weekend where there were games over the course of 3 days? Obviously, we know there's going to be a lot more people at the actual game itself. How much are they going to promote it in the stadium and everything? A lot of things that factor into that I'm going to be looking forward to seeing. But I'm glad they're doing it. I hope it raises plenty of money. That way they can meet their revenue share goals as they move forward in this ever-expanding wild world of college athletics.
By the way, I saw a lot of people, obviously making fun of the Hunter Yurchek tweet and like full go ahead for that. Like as a half-assed tweet. They did. That wasn't the announcement that they were doing the raffle. Right. They had announced that yesterday. Like, they did put out an announcement with the Razorback Twitter account that, it's like, hey, we're doing the raffle again. And here's all this info. Here's links and all that. Yurchek's tweet was weird, but like, that wasn't the only, like they did announce it yesterday. Which by the way, they said the spring raffle, we were talking about that number. The winners collected $237,000 for 2 raffles. So an average of about 115, whatever. It'll be interesting to see how close they get to that number for this week. I would imagine probably not, especially with how little of a deal it is being talked about, but it is going to be interesting. I couldn't tell. I didn't do too much research. Are they going to be selling in the stadium? Because that was a big deal for the first week of baseball, but then they didn't do it the second. But it seems like the raffle ends at the end of the third quarter, which makes me think if you're ending it in the third quarter, people should be able to buy it in the first, second, and third quarters, right?
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew. Maybe you remember. Was it because it was the regionals, and that's why they didn't do it in the stadium, or am I making that up?
No, it was during the Tennessee series that they did the second. They did Texas originally, and it made a ton of money, and then they made a little bit less for the Tennessee series. I don't know what the reasoning was that they didn't sell them in the stadium, but I think that's got to be something they got to do because I mean you're gonna have literally 65,000 people there. You might as well sell a few tickets if you can, right?
Yeah, well, according to the website, but it's frequently asked questions, so it's not like they update it every time. But it just says, "Where can I buy Razorback raffle tickets? They can be purchased in person at the sporting venue, acquired online at razorbackraffle.com, and on the Razorback app prior to the announcement of closing tickets." So I assume, that's going to be there available for the game itself, which is fine and everything. Because I was actually checking on ArkansasRazorbacks.com and they didn't have anything about the raffle, so I had to go over to the actual website itself. But either way, I know that there's probably some reasons to be, but we've talked about it. It's like, man, if I was them, I'd do it every week. I mean, for crying out loud, even not during the season. Because here's the deal. If 1 week in the summer, in the middle of July, you end up having only $1,000, $500 to the winner. Hey, that's still $500. It's more money. It's more money than you got. So I'm going to be curious the consistency of this. Maybe there's some sort of law to where you can only do it the weeks of a game itself. Maybe so. But If I was them, I would just do it all the time, nonstop. And again, who cares if 1 week goes by and you only make a couple of bucks? It's more money than what you had. And it gives the other person, hey, if they win, which that would kind of suck the one time that they do win, it's like, here's $8 in a free hot dog. It's like, that would be unfortunate. But still, I think you should just do it all the time. Do it nonstop. You should have a dedicated social media account, almost like retweeting and tweeting it out all the time. Boom, 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 boom. All just nonstop, getting as much possible, and then making a big to-do out of it at games. And maybe that's what it is. But yeah, it's just interesting, I guess, to see how it'll turn out and how it'll go. Because will it be more the first game, or will if the team starts doing really well, will the Notre Dame game end up being the one where they have the most money put in? Or is it going to be the opposite? I don't know. I'm going to be curious, though, since now we have a full season to look at it, how effective it's going to be, how nice it's going to be. And who knows, maybe Arkansas makes a few $1 million with this raffle for athletic expenses. And that is not NIL.
Be pretty cool if they did. I wonder what it's going to look like for basketball. That could be kind of interesting. Like, what if you have a home game on Saturday and then you've got that short turnaround and you've got a home game on Tuesday? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you start it on Wednesday or Thursday and have it go through Saturday, and then you open it back up Sunday morning for the Tuesday game? Like, it's going to be kind of interesting to see what they do with that when you've got the 2 games a week type of deal going with hoops. Because and I guess the same could be said for baseball. Like, are they just going to open it up for the midweeks against Murray State, or is it going to be set for just the weekends? I don't know. So.
Yeah, and to answer your question, John, about why don't they just do it every week? Does that ruin it? You know what I mean? Like, does it ruin it if you have every single game's a raffle? That type of thing. It seems like they're only going to do it for Fayetteville home games for football, right? And then obviously Bud Walton, you play a much higher percentage of your home games in Bud Walton. And maybe they just do the Saturday games.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe because maybe that's probably the best way to do it. Start it in January and you just every Saturday. I guess, how many Saturday SEC home games they have, like 6?
Maybe not that many, but
maybe not that many. But yeah, you just like do it every time, and so it's a bigger raffle every time you do it. Because maybe if you do it every week, it kind of waters it down. I really don't know, but it's gonna be fascinating to see how they promote it. It seems like they're putting a lot less effort into this than they did baseball. That first week in baseball, they really hammered it home. It was everywhere. Yurichek was doing victory laps and all that, and they made a ton of money. I'll be interested to see. I think this number is going to be lower than both of the baseball numbers, if I had to guess, just based on everything around it. Like, nobody's talking about it. Nobody's really promoting it. And then by the time basketball season gets around here, Yurichek may have just said, hey, you know what? We did it. It was cool. Now we're done. We proved our point. Let's just move on. I think that's also very much in play.
Yeah. And you talk about the promotion of it and, the level of excitement for it. This is just my reckless speculation and maybe assumption. Is because at that point in time, it still felt like everything with the NIL was just going to go away and collectives weren't going to be a thing anymore. And so it was a lot more easier to kind of go all in on this. Well, that's not the case anymore. So it makes me wonder if that's maybe why. It's now they're like, well, crap, we still have the Arkansas Edge. We still have this collective. And now we got to decide how we're going to do this. It's just a mess. I mean, it's always going to be a mess dealing with all of it. But hey, listen, if you want to go all in on this, if Arkansas wants to say this is the thing, then hey, go in all in on it. Because I see someone in the chat said be a QR code at every row of the stadium for it. You should have a QR code planted on the next to the Walmart logo on one of those pillars, and just everywhere it can be seen.
Should be on every one of the souvenir cups that they sell at the concession stand.
Yes,
you got it at home with you one day, and you're just sitting there watching the game from your couch. You got that cup, and you're like, oh yeah, scan this QR code.
Which is why, going back to a year ago when Carlton first started talking about this, we were like, hey, this is a perfect thing to do because it's unlimited. Like, obviously, you're not going to make $1 billion every week, but it's like, dude, Razorback fans, they literally hop on the SARACEN app every single day and lose money. They will gladly continue to participate in this raffle. But I got the feeling when they did it during baseball season, it was kind of like here, we're doing the raffle just to show you guys that we're doing the raffle. And I don't know if they're necessarily going to continue putting forth that much effort on it.
Yeah. And also the final thing, too, is I thought about this with the tickets and the pricing, because I think it's like you can buy 5 tickets for $10. And I think it's the lowest tier you got. So it's $2 a ticket. Like, you know, almost do something to where it's like, hey, wanted to raise the concession stand price $1 or something and just include a ticket with that. You know, I mean, I'm just trying to think of ways. But
I don't know, man. They're already tacking that 3% onto you over there.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you had Hunter at raise the concession prices. He's like, wait a minute, what?
Have we not considered this before? I mean, come on. But yeah, again, I'm sure everybody will be happy, and it'll go really well.
Maybe one of the winners will take that money and get the naming rights for Razorback Stadium since nobody's done it yet.
Man.
Yeah, the next raffle winner is just you. You are now the stadium guy.
Beggars can't be choosers at this point. Hey, I got 115,000. Here you go.
Yep. We just need to auction it off in front of the Broyles complex. Just have an auctioneer saying, "All right, who wants the naming rights?" And just have Homer and Jethro out of Stuttgart over there, just saying, I got 88 cents. It's sold. There it is. Done. But yeah, so we'll get to your chats, folks, here on the show. I want to remind everybody, though, Hickey and Hole Law. They are great. They are great at getting things done when it comes to all of your legal needs, whether it's divorce and custody cases, which are so important, criminal cases, civil litigation, personal injury, estate planning, the whole works. They got it taken care of for you because they are all about making it easy on you. Court cases, there's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of legalities, things that I don't know, things that you don't know, things that go way over your head. Well, that's when you call up Hickey and Hole. And they know all those things. They're going to take care of it. They're going to do all the research. You're going to do all the things needed to make sure that you're protected, to make sure that you got everything that you need, and they do a great job of it. So no matter what your legal needs may be, give them a call today at 479-434-2414. That's 479-434-2414. You can also check out their website at hickeyandhole.com. It is Hickey and Hole Law. Things are about to get better. Okay, so let's get to a few of your chats, folks. Appreciate everybody tuning in today. Shout out to Sharkansas for the super chat. Appreciate it, man. But Sharkansas says, we didn't get to talk about it yesterday, but over under 8.5 picks by Arkansas defense this year. I'll take the over.
How many did they wind up getting last year? About that many in one game, and then
they had like 5 in that one game, and then I think they ended at like 8 or 9.
I can look it up real quick.
I'm gonna
see the goods here.
I'm going to go under that mark.
10 picks is what they had last year.
10 last year.
Yep.
I'm going to go under since they've had 0 in all the scrimmages.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go under that. I do think the secondary is going to be better. But I think I'm going to go under that total for picks. Where did that rank, though, in the SEC? I don't know what you have pulled up there, John. I can pull up the CFB stats real quick and see where that ranked. But
because I just looked on ArkansasRazorbacks.com for theirs because I was looking at it too. Arkansas only threw 9 interceptions last year, but picked off 10. I don't know if that's ever a good ratio or not. Because how many did they have against Auburn? 3, 4?
I think they might have had 5. I could be wrong.
5?
They had 5 or 6 turnovers that they forced.
Maybe it was
I don't know if
picks and 2 fumbles.
Yeah. So 10. They were tied for 8th in the SEC last year. With those 10, LSU was the lowest with 6 interceptions. Texas had 22.
Jeez.
That is absurd, man. So yeah, they were kind of middle of the pack there.
I will say this, and this, I don't know if this is a controversial take or not. Turnovers are pretty much a crapshoot, that means nothing. Like if you force a lot of fumbles, that does not mean you're a good defense. If you don't force a ton of fumbles, it doesn't mean you're a bad defense. They are kind of random for the most part. And I mean, we've seen that in Razorback history. Like we've seen 5 and 6 pick games for with defenses that weren't even that good. It's kind of a random thing. You have to get some bounces your way. Like 2023, Arkansas wasn't that great of a defense, but they had crazy turnover luck. They had like 4 defensive touchdowns or something weird like that. So it's like, I think some people are going to think about this through the lens of like, well, I think we're going to be bad on defense, so we won't have that many picks. And it's like, dude, they could suck defensively and have 12 picks easily. Like it's just, it's kind of a random thing that isn't a real, indicator of anything.
Some of my thought too on the interceptions like that is, when do they usually happen? It's like if a quarterback is under pressure and has to make a throw, off balance or whatever, and we don't know exactly how much of that you're going to get. So, quarterbacks are able to kind of chill back there comfortably and pick their spots. I'm not saying you can't defend passes and you can't come up with great plays and make breaks on the ball and everything, but I think that complicates it a little bit more. It doesn't have to be interceptions don't have to be made by defensive backs, and it also doesn't have to directly correlate with them totally in terms of getting them.
I remember that year that KJ had like 5 picks, and one of them was a Hail Mary heave at halftime. Yeah. And it always bugged me because I'm like, if you took that away, he went like 10 games without a pick. I can't get over the fact, though, that KJ Jackson did not throw an interception to the first team defense during either of the scrimmages.
Yeah.
Remember Malachi Singleton threw 4 against the first team defense last year in fall camp, and that was a thing where they were like, hey, we had a ton of picks everywhere, and we were all doing the thing of like, who threw the picks? We didn't get any of that. And so I'm like, maybe they will land into a few, but I'm going to go under just because for that reason that you mentioned, Curtis. Sometimes you need pressure on the quarterback to get a pick. And so not having either with the first or second team defense in scrimmages probably doesn't indicate they're going to be a ball hawking team.
Well, it's the reason why, Andrew, that they didn't have a lot of picks in fall camp and everything is because it's the Petrino offense in practices. They're hyping the quarterbacks, don't want them throwing any crazy stuff. I mean, defense, Travis Williams just had to sit over there with his thumb up his butt, not doing anything while the offense just cooked. The defense, though, they're ready. They're going to be rolling out there and getting after it. So, but to answer your question, I'd probably go with I don't know. I'd probably go with the under. Actually, you know what? I'll take that back. I'm going to go with the over because I think that at least some of these quarterbacks that are going to be new that you're going to be going up against, some of them aren't going to be good, right? I mean, some of them can't be great. Some of them are going to make mistakes, I'm hoping, instead of just all of them cooking against you and looking like Heisman Trophy winners. So I feel like there'll be a game where you get like 4 picks, and that pretty much like puts you the over.
That's what happened last year. So.
Hopefully Auburn starts Hank Brown again.
Yeah.
I was thinking Joey Aguilar has he's like minus 150 to be the quarterback to throw 3 picks against Arkansas.
Hasn't he thrown
favorite?
The most picks in the country over a 2-year span or something? But then he's also got like a ton of touchdowns and yards. Like he's a guy who takes chances, I guess. So yeah, he might be good for it there.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, guys. I was just curious. I looked this up. In 2021, Arkansas had 13 interceptions. And actually, sorry, no. I was looking at the wrong year. I was going to do 2020 to see because they had that one game with Hudson Clark and everybody getting 6 interceptions against Matt Corral and Ole Miss. But for that year, Arkansas had, let's see, they had to change up everything. Here we go. So they had 13 picks in 2020, and literally half of them came in one game. So
yeah.
That's maybe you get that, but hey, Hudson Clark ain't walking through that door anymore, folks. He's run out of eligibility, so you're going to want to be on your own.
I am here to call for, before we move on, a fat man interception this year.
Keyshawn Blackstock.
Tipped ball falls right into Blackstock's hands, and he's like, "Listen, I played offense my whole career, brother. I'm good for it. He's got them hands." I'm going to say Jafard because it would be awesome, but I like Blackstock too. That's a good one.
Yeah, it would just be really funny. And I think I've always said that if, we talk about celebrations and whatnot, I think if you're a fat guy and you score a touchdown, you should be able to do whatever you want to celebrate. Like, obviously don't want to go up and punch the other team, but if you want to do like the fat guy dances in the end zone, like if they're doing TikTok dances, let them do it. Let them have some fun.
You know what we're going to get? Ian Jafard houses a pick 6 and then does the infamous backflip that we've been told he can do. For 3 years, people have been saying, Ian Jafard, he can do a backflip. Nobody has any footage of it happening. The coaches say it, but I've never seen it happen. And I'm skeptical, but maybe we'll find out.
Yeah, maybe we will. I would be all for that. Let's see a few other chats here too. Because again, we've talked a lot about some various things. We'll go back to it. But David already talked about that one. Ryan's just saying, hey, you're 2025 Liberty Bowl champs. We will be 2-0 in that stadium this season. I'm saying 3-0. Okay. Because you're going back to the Liberty Bowl postseason, baby. And you're going to be 3-0 in that stadium whenever you beat
the third one.
Because you'll play in the Liberty Bowl again postseason. So you'll have last year's game, then this year, and then this year. So, season. Sorry, that's why I said this year. My bad.
Okay. I don't think it works like that.
No, my bad. I thought he was talking about for a year 2-0 from last year. Okay, I get what you're saying. Sorry, my bad.
Arkansas goes there so often that it's hard to keep it all in order there. Truly. They play in the Liberty Bowl damn near as much as Memphis does. So,
Goodness.
Terrible. But it's sad but true. David says, I really want to wheel route on the first play. I don't.
Do y'all remember the first play of last season?
I'll
tell you exactly
it was controversial. Was it a fumble?
It was a deep shot to Tyrone Broden that Talon just
right.
underthrew like crazy.
That's right. Yeah.
See, I didn't even remember that.
And it actually wasn't Tyrone Broden's fault, but I remember everybody we talked a lot about it. We're like, what are they going to do to open the season? And it was a deep shot to Ty Broden that I think it was windy, and Talon just kind of threw it into the wind and it didn't get there. But I remember that being a big deal.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, David, I don't want a wheel route because I want the wheel route to be saved against a good team when you can, use it and it'd be good.
I want Talon Green to turn to his right and hand the football to Mike Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
On the first play, and just let him go for 75 yards like he does every time he gets a touch against the Razorback defense. So,
well, but here's the thing, Curtis. If anybody know, if I know anything about old Bobby Mother effing Petrino, that dude loves his passes to set the tone early. He wants the ball and he wants to go score, and he wants to score right now. So I agree. I would love to see Mike Washington because of all the stuff we've heard about this dude just being the next coming of Herschel Walker. But I have a feeling that they're probably do some play action, pass action, and just, really showcase the speed of a, Omega Blake or Jalen Brown or CJ Brown and whoever. Just go for a go route.
They're going to find Jaden Platt out there in the flats and get the tight ends involved early and often.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that you really got to think about, and I'm being kind of serious when I say this, you're going to obviously win the game by a lot. So in the second half, you can't really air it out. I think with Talon, they got to get him as many pass attempts early as they can before it becomes mean. Because if you're up 42-0 and you're airing it out with Talon, you're kind of an asshole. But like play one, play two, first few drives, you got to air that sucker out.
Yeah. And then let KJ Jackson come in and air it out so we can see what he can do with his passing game. That'd be great. That'd be ideal. Shout out to Cannon for being a member for 3 months. Appreciate it, Cannon. He says, appreciate y'all. You're appreciated. Member of 3 months. I got to look back up to what the images that you get month to month because you get cooler little logos. And it doesn't show us on StreamYard, but it's just random faces. It's not ours. It's like Razorback people. So I need to go through that and look at that. Let's see. Hunter, you're a cheap. So it cracks me up. Carmona said Blackstock got banged up on the D-line on his podcast last night. He's not injured, but banged up. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate.
That would not be good.
Was it Carmona that manhandled him?
Maybe it was Blackstock not Blackstock's Branham, Kobe Branham, who just wanted to give him one last shove to let him know that he's the guy.
Yeah.
I'm glad that he clarified, but nobody else on the defensive line is allowed to get hurt for like at least a month.
I wouldn't even make those guys practice, honestly.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be a rough look.
Especially Cam Ball. Like sorry, man. I know you want to be out there and everything. You are not allowed to take any live reps in practice.
To be fair, I think that's pretty much what they did in the scrimmages.
Because he's hurt after just getting done being hurt, and you don't want him to get hurt on top of being hurt after just being hurt. So, yeah, don't play him.
It's a lot of hurts. That's a lot of hurts that you don't want to be involved in. We'll have more chats, but I did want to bring this up, folks, as part of our Alumni Hall question of the day presented by Alumni Hall. We're going to be there this Friday from 12 to 2, right there at the Alumni Hall location at 3417 North College Avenue. Come by and see us because we're going to be set up there. They have all the newest apparel, the greatest apparel for Razorback football, all in stock and all ready to go out the door. So a lot of you who are making the trip up, come by and see us. As if you come by and use that code HOGSBY20, get 20% off your purchase. They got the high-end stuff, whether it's Peter Millar, Johnny O, Southern Tide, polo shirts they got it for men, women, and kids. They got it for pets even. They got decor. They got everything. So for all of your Razorback needs, go to the biggest, the best store there is when it comes to Razorback apparel. It's Alumni Hall. And again, we'll be there on this Friday from 12 to 2. It's Alumni Hall, the ultimate Razorback shopping experience. Guys, this is actually part of BetSaracen. It's maybe want to bring it up as far as this question goes, but will Arkansas win 3 straight games this season in football is the simple question, because Saracen actually has a prop bet for this to win. This just regular season, doesn't include a bowl game, but they have Arkansas at plus 275 to record 3+ wins in a row. So my question to y'all, given the schedule, given what you know, do you guys think that Arkansas will win 3 straight games at any point in time this season?
It looks like they've got 2 reasonable points to do that. like the 3 straight SEC home games and the 3 first games of the year, right?
Yeah.
Have A&M, Auburn, Mississippi State as a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Bama, A&M, Arkansas State, and Ole Miss.
I was gonna say I think the first 3 are the best chance to do
That's
that.
obviously far more likely. I didn't project them to do that, but what'd you say? Plus 275?
Yep.
I will probably wager an amount of money on that to happen, though. I like those odds.
My math brain is kicking in here. I think the move here is to bet that, and then going into that Ole Miss game, we'll see what the odds are. But if Ole Miss looks kind of shaky in weeks 1 or 2, obviously Arkansas is going to play 2 bums. Maybe that line is lower. Like if Ole Miss is a 4-point favorite, then you can hedge it where it's like you have Arkansas at plus 275 to win their first 3 or to win 3 straight, and you could kind of hedge it with Ole Miss and maybe make money either way. I think there might be a path to that. Maybe that's what everyone should do.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. I could see it happening. Because I'm going to be honest. I think with the fans, I was curious to see if they were kind of on the same wavelength as I was when it came to it. But at least according to the very accurate polls, 53% say yes, the Razorbacks will win 3 games, and 47% say no. So pretty split there. But I'll say this: if they do win 3 games in a row at any point in time this season, they're going to a bowl game. So, there's that. You could probably feel pretty confident about. So, but I feel like the best case scenario, as weird as it is, best case scenario is the first 3 games of the season, because I know that those 3 games are at home and everything, but I feel like you pretty much got 2 should be guaranteed wins to start the year, and then at Ole Miss is tough, but compared to having 3, yes, home SEC games, but A&M, Auburn, Missouri, and Mississippi State all being SEC teams, I'll take my chances in the first 3.
I will say Razorback fans are of the belief that Notre Dame is not very good, and they are of the belief that Arkansas should be favored in that game. So honestly, there's probably a lot of fans who are listening to us talk, and they're like, these suckers, they're going to beat Memphis, beat Notre Dame, and then beat Tennessee. And then they're going to win 3 straight home games. So honestly,
well, I can't wait for all of us to be wrong and they win the final 3 games of the year against Texas, LSU, and Missouri. Just to really throw a wrench into everything and blow people's minds coming off the bye week. So wouldn't that be something? All right, so let's some other chats that we got here on the show. Again, appreciate everybody tuning in for it. Let's see. Ryan says Bobby has that play planned for a 50-plus yarder lined up for the first drive. Just got to execute. Yeah,
well, got to execute.
Dude, the most badass thing I've ever seen happen. Not really. This is an exaggeration. The guy that's the coach at my high school, Thomas Bachman. I remember the year after I graduated high school, I went to their jamboree that year, and they had like a freshman quarterback who was horrible. I'm not going to say his name, but he was horrible. And I remember the coach telling me, he was like, if we can get this guy to complete this pass, first play of the game, we're going to have an 80-yard touchdown. Just guaranteed. He's like, I know it. He's like, I know the coverage are going to be running. We will guaranteed have a touchdown if he can complete this pass. And he did. It was an 80-yard touchdown. And I remember being like, damn. But like a lot of times in football, it really is that way, where it's like you kind of know what the coverage is going to be. You kind of know your plays, and just a matter. So and we know Bobby loves his script. When Bobby gets that script going to start the game, those first 10 plays, those are money.
Yep. Well, and it's like to your point, Andrew, I'll never forget when Bobby was at the Little Rock Touchdown Club for a few years ago, like the first time he ever came back to Arkansas. No one had heard about him, and they brought up that Arkansas LSU 2010 play with Ryan Mallett hitting Joe Adams on 4th and 3. Like, I think it was Bobby, and even Mallett confirmed this the year before. They're like, Bobby had that play drawn up after playing LSU back in 2009. Like that night after losing to him, he had that play, and he was just saving it. They didn't run it the entire year. They saved it for that one game, that one play, and that one moment, and it was perfect. So it's like, Bobby, man, that's why I love that guy. It's like it's like a legend, and you're just so monotone and chill. But man, if it's all that's true, or like the big binder that's in the back of Nick Saban for that one game against Arkansas 2011, and just see all those things, it gets you hyped up for that. So yeah, hopefully Bobby has a plan for every one of these teams, and they can beat them with big touchdown plays. That's what I'm hoping.
John, I've got a big test for your 2010 knowledge.
Okay,
and you name the redshirt freshman defensive back that Joe Adams beat on that play, that 4th and 3.
Oh yeah, the Honey Badger.
Okay, there you go. It was a young Tyrann Mathieu before he was number 7.
Yeah, and Wish that would have happened the next year in 2011 instead of him punting the ball and taking it to the house. But still, that's neither here nor there. Oh, geez, Witty. Okay, well, he gave us a super chat. Appreciate the super chat. Witty says it could have hit Broden in the hands and he would have dropped it. We got to stop with the Broden stuff, all right? He's no longer on the team. We got to stop this, especially you, Witty. You got a vendetta against this man.
Was Broden one of the 15 Razorbacks that got cut from NFL squads yesterday? Or was he on one before?
He was with the Seahawks. I'm sure he didn't make their rosters. I would imagine he was. I saw JQJ got released.
Yeah.
Really? He did?
Yeah, by the Dolphins.
Yeah.
The Dolphins or who is it? The Jaguars have a good running back room though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it was like several guys yesterday. Hudson Clark, Dan Skipper. Yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday was the official day of coach wants to see you bring your playbook. They come knocking on those doors.
Right.
Yeah, that's always the worst. Is like one of the things I remember from was a Hard Knocks or whatever. Those types of things. Like, it's like so unfortunate. So
dude, one of the worst Hard Knocks moments ever was when they had that kicker Aguayo for the Buccaneers, and he was drafted in like the second round or whatever. And I think it was like his second year, and they called him in, and he did not see it coming at all. And they were like, "Hey, buddy, we're gonna go a different direction for our place kicking duties." He was devastated, man.
That's just tough. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. Let's see.
Matt Landers was another one. Sorry, I remember seeing his name of getting let go yesterday.
Man,
Hudson Clark made some plays, by the way, in preseason.
He did. That's all the man does. Everyone hates on him. Oh yeah, you guys are going to be. Hey, he's the greatest number 17 in Razorback football history. Find me somebody else that's greater.
Sorry, before we move on, did Armstrong make the Dolphins roster?
I don't know.
I saw that they cut Theo Weiss.
Oh, they did? Well, he probably did.
There was like another receiver that apparently, I don't know if I can, someone else talk. I'll find the Dolphins roster.
I'd say we just need Mama Armstrong to come in on the chat and let us know. Oh, no, he got let go.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, 2 hours ago, he'd been let go.
Damn.
Yep. So there's your update. It's hard to keep up with all the craziness, though, going on with the NFL.
Yeah, your update on Pro Hogs. They're significantly fewer than there were 24 hours ago.
That was our Pro Hogs corner.
Yep.
That sucks, man.
Yeah, I know. I wish that was one of my favorite things of always bringing back that hashtag Pro Hogs, because I think it was Hutch. Shout out to you, Hutch. Like if there was any news of any, like even if it was like, hey, this player got arrested in the NFL or whatever, he was just, all you do is quote tweet and just hashtag Pro Hogs. And I'm just like, yep, anytime Pro Hogs, hashtag it. Oh man.
Dang. Hold on. I know we're really going long on this Pro Hog segment. So we're Landon and Tesla the only Hogs from last year that made a roster?
To my understanding, yes.
It has to be, right? The two that got drafted made the rosters? Is that how it works?
Yes, to my understanding, yes. Now, unless there's just some player that I don't know of and no one knows about that they did get a roster spot or something like that. But yes, that's to my knowledge at least. Tesla, who is the ultimate Heisman Trophy winner that Arkansas just handcuffed and didn't want him to play.
Probably going to be Offensive Rookie of the Year this year, I'd imagine.
It's going to be weird.
We're talking. That's
going to be weird. Let's see. Also, Hunter Urichie says, if Mike Washington doesn't have a 92-yard touchdown on the first play, I'm going to be nervous for sure. Well, why they got to be backed up to the 8? Let's hope that doesn't happen.
They got a hold on the opening kickoff.
Yeah, Rodney Hill tries to bring it from 8 yards deep in the end zone, and
yeah, because then it's like, oh no, they get a turnover. Well, I hope that Alabama A&M doesn't drive it that easily on you to where they get it on the 8-yard line. So
maybe they just have a 78-yard punt that downs them at the 8.
Yeah, there you go. Something went awry, but yeah, I'm kind of hoping that's not the case. Zach Religious says, is it tired to continue to ask Pittman about the hot seat allegations, or is that played out at this point?
It's played out at this point, in my opinion, especially right now. I know he got asked about that. It was in the way that the question was asked yesterday. I didn't have a problem with at all. And I don't remember the exact wording, but I remember as it happened, and I could tell where it was going. I was like, are we really asking this dude about it here on, but the way it came out was almost like a perspective thing for Sam. It's like, it's been like 3 years with these conversations swirling about you. Now you're here on game week again. Like, does it affect you or whatever? Not, what do you think about going into this year on the hot seat, which was, but I agree. It is played out. And I remember that, last year, midway through the season, when, like things weren't going particularly well for Arkansas and everything like that. And people were so up in arms about, why aren't they asking the hard questions? Why aren't they asking Pittman about his job security and everything like that? And it's like, well, they did every day last season. And it feels like the writing was kind of on the wall in terms of, this is probably what it's going to take for you to keep your job. And this is what it's going to take for you to get fired. And I really don't think that goalpost has moved or those conversations have changed this year. Let them be optimistic about the team. Let them go out there and play football. And if you got to revisit it because they're 3-7 or something at some point in the year, then do it then. But yeah, right now it feels a little played out to me.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, because I agree. It wasn't like a completely egregious question yesterday by any means. And I thought the way it was worded, it wasn't supposed to be this like just obvious, hey, you're on the hot seat again. What do you think? But I'm with you that like Monday of game week is just not the time to ask the question or to even have the conversation. I mean, hell, we do a daily show every single day. We are always looking for things to talk about. There's a reason we're not doing these Sam Pittman hot seat bid is because, again, it's going to get determined here, like in the season. And so we'll talk about it as it comes. But I feel like all the time people are like, why aren't y'all talking about this? And it's like, what are we supposed to say? Like, we kind of know the situation of like, yeah, they got to win this year. If not, he'll be fired. Like that's where we're at. And so it's like, we'll just see what happens. But Monday of game week, it's X's and O's time. How are we stopping the stretch play? Where are we going to focus on offensively? Like where are we lining up our 3-tech? Like what's going on? Like that's what I want to be hearing about. I don't really care about the big picture stuff right now.
Well, hell, last week we did that. We clipped out the segment of the show where we were just reacting to other people's conversations about John Gruden's connections to Arkansas, and people were pissed. So I would say that a decent amount of the fan base, or maybe it's a loud minority segment there or something, but I think a lot of people feel like it's played out too.
Here's my call to the fan base. Cause I, again, we, on this show, we talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. And that's always how it's going to be. But if you do want to ask about it and want us to talk about it, you got to give us something of like, hey, do you think if blank happens, then X will happen or whatever? And we can have that conversation. But a lot of times people will just be like, update on Sam getting fired. Update. I'm like, what do you mean update? Like, I don't like, there is no update to give you now. You got to ask specific questions.
Yeah. No, I agree with that too, because it's going to be plenty of time to have those conversations if and when the season goes that way. But right now, this is what you got. Nothing's changing. So you can tell something does happen. This is the way it's going to be. Let's see. Heartbroken Hog also says, with everyone complaining about the schedule, they better buckle up, because with the changes to the scheduling every year going forward, it'll be harder to schedule than we ever had up to this point.
Sure will.
Yeah. Well,
I think it will be tough, but it is all about the relativity. You know what I mean? Like the years that we talk about the schedule, it's when Arkansas has the number 1, number 3, number whatever. And I'm sure we're going to get some of that as well, but it's not like Arkansas is going to be alone on this hill though.
No. And also too, it's not about the teams. It's about the location of said teams. It's like, if you're playing Memphis, okay. But when you're playing at Memphis, that's dumb. When you're playing Tulsa, okay. But when you're playing at Tulsa, that's dumb. Those are the things that I have an issue with. Like, not the opponents, but where you're playing these opponents. Get as many home games as you can. What I've always said. Hickory Hog says, what I'm hearing is, if you want to have a good schedule, hire John Neighbors' best friend Drinkwitz.
Hey, that dude he's a masterclass of putting together the easiest possible SEC schedule. And I say that seriously. Like, I wish we could do that.
Yeah. I mean, because was it last year they went to UMass, Amherst or whatever?
I think it was. Maybe.
Yeah.
I remember just sitting there being like, that is so stupid. But I don't know. It could be kind of cool if Arkansas was doing that. It's like, listen, that could be something you could do. If you're Arkansas, if you insist upon playing not Power 4 teams away from home, do them in some fun destinations. I'm not saying Amherst is. It's like, hey, go to Boca Raton, play FAU. That'd be cool. Play, I don't know, UC.
BYU was an example.
Huh?
Yeah. BYU would be an example of like, hey, yeah, you get to go to Provo, Utah. That's cool.
Great example. UNLV. Play UNLV. We could go to Vegas and see Arkansas versus Dan Mullen. I'd be for that.
A little dicey for Dan Mullen on Saturday.
Man.
Yeah, Arkansas would have 850 yards of offense on UNLV.
Man. By the way, real quick on that broadcast was so egregious. I couldn't even it looked like I put it together, like the graphics and everything. It was just, oof. It was brutal.
The score bug was something else.
I'm telling you, it was really rough out there. But all right, so we'll have more of your chats. as well. Oh, by the way, real quick, our guy Dre, appreciate you, Dre, says, do BYU again for football and basketball. I'd be for that.
I'd love that.
Yeah. Like Provo was awesome. For that, a lot of you may have gone. I got to go a couple years ago when Arkansas played. It was a great place. Beautiful.
Can we go to Utah? Can we start thinking about that now?
No, 100%. Yes.
Somebody sponsor our trip to Utah. We're going next year.
As long as they keep the game on the schedule, and don't try to cancel it or something. But I'm just going to tell you right now, Salt Lake City and Provo, as close as they may be, could not be more different. Like they are very different. I
believe that.
Yeah. Well, one place does have bars and alcohol and everything, and the other place is not. So
how close are they to each other?
It's like, I think when I flew in, it was like 30, 45 minutes, something like that. It wasn't too far. So, oh yeah, that's right. Dre says my family's there, so I have hookups. Yeah, he's telling me that he has family out there. So, yeah, let us know, Dre. It'll be a trip sponsored by Basis Health, and we can make it all work for next year. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump into our heavy hitters today, presented by our friends at HD Roofing and Construction. Listen, storms can hit unexpectedly, just like this weather. This weather's been unexpected. It's been nice, but there was a lot of rain happening yesterday. But there's going to be times where storms are going to hit, and there's going to be ice storms. There could be a lot of snow, all those things. You don't want to be caught in a situation where your roof is problematic, because that could not only just ruin your day, ruin your week, but also ruin a lot of your own possessions, ruin the time where you want to just be in your warm house and you can't do it. Well, don't even worry about that anymore, because with HD Roofing, as soon as you call them up, they're going to give you a free inspection and give you that peace of mind. So when you choose HD Roofing, they're always going to give you that professionalism, the top quality materials, expert installation for all of that. And you can give them a call today, 501-428-0429. That's 501-428-0429. You can also check them out at hdarkansas.com. Scan that QR code and get that free inspection right now. It's HD Roofing and Construction for our heavy hitters. Okay, so for my heavy hitter, guys, I'll go ahead and start off. I have a couple of random ones, but the one I want to start off with is college football. Because yesterday, it was reported that Barstool president, CEO, owner, however you want to put it, Dave Portnoy, was banned from the Horseshoe at Ohio State. This is just reports that came out. On3 was reporting to everybody. They said Ohio State has banned Dave Portnoy from the Horseshoe for his inaugural appearance on Fox's Big Noon Kickoff, because that's, of course, where the Big Noon Kickoff is going to be. It says that Portnoy will still appear on the program before Big Noon actually enters into the stadium, but they have banned him. So that started, which, of course, anytime you have something with Dave Portnoy, it turns into an absolute bleep show. But then after that, you had Connor Stallions tweet out to Dave Portnoy saying, hey, you need tickets. Of course, just trolling, a little bit of fun there too. And then Ross Dellinger later, I guess it was actually 5 hours ago, says Ohio State did not issue a ban on Dave Portnoy. AD Ross Bjork, which I forgot he's at Ohio State. AD Ross Bjork said Bjork confirms that Fox decided Portnoy would not be on the main desk of Big Noon Kickoff, and those not on the desk do not normally appear on the field. These are Fox's decisions, he emphasized. So all of this, do any of you care? Probably not. But this is my point. Only in college football can something like this happen. Only in college football can you have some of the biggest names and brands in all of sports have something so stupid and petty become a thing. With Ohio State and, of course, Portnoy being a Michigan guy, it coming together like this where we're banning him from the stadium. You can't have that in any other regard. And I bring up this example so much even last year when Vanderbilt beat Alabama in football, and it was a big upset and all that. You had the students rush the field, take down the goalpost, and carry them all the way to the river and chunked it into the river. And not only did they do that, they had police escorts helping them out in doing that. There is not a single other sport at any level where any of these things ever happen or could happen. And that's why I will always love college football the most, because of stuff like this. So my heavy hitter is just college football, because these are the things that when we go through the NIL and transfer portal and hate all that, this is the type of stuff that makes college football special. So shout out to them. They're my heavy hitter today.
Cracks me up, man. There's like so many other examples that you could use moving forward. Like let's take every college game day. Like Nick Saban, sorry, man, if they're at Bama, you can't be there. or if they're at Auburn, yeah, we're going to kick you off the damn. What are we doing? It's pretty hilarious to me, whether it's a Fox thing or what, which in like the opposite of a heavy hitter, the whole Fox and YouTube TV thing. And that's an entire mess. I know a lot of people who watch NFL are probably pissed about that. I don't watch a whole bunch of it, so I don't necessarily care, but like big noon kickoff and everything, that's crazy. But yeah, that's I saw that with Portnoy. It cracked me up. Even if it's not an Ohio State thing, it's a tough look for them. Like, you're coming off a national championship, and but you also haven't beaten Michigan in what feels like a decade. So, you know, a little bit of a tough one there.
Real quick before we get to y'all's, I asked this question yesterday on Twitter. If you're a Razorback fan, who would you want banned? If you could just have someone banned from Razorback Stadium. I don't know if there's really anyone you hate that much that would even be there anyways, but I don't know. I just, like I was like, Jessica Durrell, John L. Smith, Chad Morris.
I can't say my answer, John. I'm pleading the fifth on this one. I'll give a fake one and say, oh, yeah, Chad Morris, if you guys want. My answer are people within the fan base that I would ban from the university that probably shouldn't be around children either, by the way.
Same. It's probably, like I said the same thing. I think it was on Eric G's show today, but he asked me that same question. I'm like, I think some fans, I'm not going to name them, but I'm just saying some fans don't need to be there anymore. So anyways, but that's my heavy hitter. Curtis, who do you got?
Can I comment before Curtis does his? I want to comment on the Dave Portnoy thing, and not to come to the defense of Dave Portnoy, who doesn't need our defense. And, you know, he's his whole, he's a very controversial figure for a lot of reasons, all that. What I hate about it is that Ohio State is now trying to do the thing where they're like, oh no, we didn't ban him. But it's just what we do. It's not going to happen. Like, they realize, one, they've done this before because they didn't let Barstool College Football do a Barstool College Football show at their stadium. Like, when they go around and do their tour, and they were like promoting an event and everything and had to change plans last second. So they've done this before. But also being like, oh, yeah, no, like, we had no idea. This was a Fox decision. And, like, we're going to, like, the rest of the season is going to happen. And Dave Portnoy is going to be in the stadium everywhere else. It's not going to be a thing. But as you guys know, this is what universities like to do. They like to not officially ban people, but go out of their way to make sure those people don't get in the arena without being officially banned. Yeah.
Well, it's like when they banned the Storm Chasers. Hunter Yurchek banned them from Bud Walton for that Kentucky basketball game. That was
Wild
terrible
behavior.
Yeah, terrible. So, Curtis, who you got?
My heavy hitters are Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift for their. I'm just kidding. I don't care. I mean, congratulations to them. Whatever. I saw people in the chat and I was like, oh, did that really happen? It did. Whatever. Great. Did you guys? I know you don't tune into a lot of Cardinals baseball, but this went viral. Did anybody see my man Wilson Contreras and his crash out during the game last night? Andrew, did you see this?
I did not see this, and I live for Wilson Contreras crash outs.
John, I think, knows what I'm talking about here. I'm not going to play the volume because I'm hoping to get us not demonetized or whatever, but I've got the video here of just he was just not a happy camper getting called out on what was a strike, but it was other things in the at bat that led to that. And then he took exception to getting tossed. He goes absolutely nuts here, and it was pretty epic. Watch this pitch, by the way. It's a strike. You're out.
The most electric, hitting catchers on the planet. And he was just like a fun, all these antics, which, he didn't do stuff like this, but like his kind of pissed off attitude was cool because he was a good player. This happens in baseball a lot where these guys that just get old and washed and are no longer good, but are still assholes. Like Javi Baez, that happened. I think he's kind of having a resurgence, but like Javi Baez was the coolest guy in the world. And then all of a sudden he's hitting 220 and striking out 50% of the time. And it's like, your antics are no longer cool anymore.
Yeah.
It sucks whenever you have stuff like this. Wilson Contreras, all-time asshole.
Well, two things to that real quick. First one, I just made me think of when I was in Little League, my coach got ejected and he had the bucket of balls. And when he got ejected, he went over to the ump and says, if you don't have the balls to make that call, then here's some. And he poured them out onto the to the field. Great one. But then two, also, Curtis, I don't want to bring up bad stuff. But the reason I knew about this is because my buddy Devin's a Cardinals fan and my buddy Brendan's Dodgers. So they like to talk crap. But I saw that, I guess it was last night, was the Cardinals paid attendance was 17,675, the lowest in the history of Busch Stadium, and the first time they've ever sold under 20,000.
I saw that too. That's nuts.
Things are rough.
Curtis has been talking about this for a while, that he's like, people are just no longer going to the games, and now it's just going down and down and down.
I'm glad that it's coming to a head the way that it is, because like the GM is retiring, stepping down or whatever at the end of this year. They've already got the new guy in place who I'm excited about, but they're kind of handcuffed by the ownership with the DeWitts at this point. It's just not what it used to be. Like the Cardinal way, it ain't weighing anymore, or whatever you want to say about it. And it's going to take, I think, a change in ownership also, if they're really going to get back to where, frankly, the franchise should be and have the type of support that they've grown accustomed to. And it's when it hits the pocketbook like that. It's one thing when you go from, hey, there's 40 some odd thousand here every night to, yeah, now we're at, 32, 33-ish. Not even being able to fill your ballpark up halfway in August, when you're still theoretically in the hunt for a playoff spot. That's a tough sell. And so maybe they'll have the desired effect, but what a mess, man.
Well, it's like a food restaurant where it's like, oh yeah, we can all complain about the $20 burgers, but if we all go every week and get them, they're going to keep selling them for $20. They're going to keep making the same damn burgers. They ain't going to change nothing. So it is crazy. I just never thought this would happen in St. Louis, honestly, just because I did think they were kind of one of those fan bases that's just like going to go no matter what. And so good to see the people of St. Louis that are just like, screw it, man. Like we're going to force y'all to make some changes, man. Love that.
Also, well, I was going to say, it's also incredibly dangerous to be down there now. Like unless you're paying $60 to park in the garage right across the street, then you're not safe walking around down there. And so you add that to it, and the team sucks and all that. And it's like, I find better ways to spend my money and use my time than to go to a ball game, watch the team suck, and then leave and have my car broken into.
It sounds like Curtis wants the National Guard to come in there. Is that what you're saying? Like,
let's not get carried away.
Just nuke Busch Stadium.
Yeah, let's get in there. So,
well, I've got a few different heavy hitters. One, we're going to go with the Razorback section here. Charles Davalon has had an awesome week. I saw some people in the chat talking about it. I actually saw MLB Pipeline puts out like their prospect team of the week, and they had him and Mason Neville both on it. Y'all remember Mason Neville from outfielder? He was on that list with the Reds, so good for him. Aiden Miller, who was committed to Arkansas, he was also on that same list. But Charles Davalon, unreal start to his pro career. A lot of the Razorbacks, Brent Iredale hit his first home run the other day. Vahiva hit his first home run the other day. He's been balling. But the best pro hog right now, low key, is Jackson Wiggins. He's become one of the best pitching prospects in all of baseball. I think he's going to wind up actually being a starter long term, which I wouldn't have guessed. But he's in Double-A right now, and his ERA for the year is under 2. He's been shoving 81 strikeouts in 65 innings. He's become like one of the Cubs' top prospects in their organization. It's crazy that Jackson Wiggins has become kind of what everyone knew he could become. But like when you watch him at Arkansas, it was like you knew there was a lot of work, but the dude has been balling. What were you going to say, John?
I was just going to say real quick, because I'm curious, like Notre Dame game, Arkansas is bringing the baseball team to that, right? Because they always do, I feel like. Is that probably going to be the game they have them out there with the World Series trophy and stuff, or not trophy?
Yes, I don't really know when, they have a specific weekend for it, but I'm cool.
They were going to do it for A&M because that's McFadden's day, so I feel like that maybe is a good time. But either way,
I could get behind that. I know one other mini heavy hitter I have, Dylan Raiola, our guy at Nebraska, just continues to refute the claims that he's doing a Patrick Mahomes impersonation when he wears the exact same accessories. Did y'all see his quote the other day, though? He says, I can't get mad at God for making me look like Patrick Mahomes. God did not give you the haircut that you went and told your barber to give you. God did not buy that wristband for you. He did not do the end zone celebration that you do. Again, I don't have a problem with a kid who, if I'm Dylan Raiola, of course Mahomes is my idol. He's the best quarterback in the world. Like, he's 8 years older than me or whatever. It's like, it makes sense. I hate that he keeps acting like he's not doing a Mahomes impersonation. There's nothing wrong, honestly, with kind of modeling your game and your look after someone, but don't try and deny it and be like, no, I don't even like the guy. I hate this guy. I don't even want to look like him. It's like, dude, you literally are dressed exactly like you're doing a Mahomes cosplay. I actually think Nebraska, by the way, has a really good football team and is a threat to make the college football playoff, but their quarterback is going to get in their way. My actual hot heavy hitter is old news, but we couldn't go an entire week of Inside Arkansas Live without talking about this. We had to pull up the video. So here's Avery Johnson, former almost Razorback, who's at Kansas State now. Here's his father beating the piss out of his brother, I believe, in this video after they lose in Ireland the other day.
Right next to shut too.
I also like I think that's how you know that like it's football season when you got stuff like this going on. And they released like a joint statement recently.
Hilarious.
And we're like basically apologizing for it. I thought it was a fake thing. I saw multiple people being like, "Oh, Avery Johnson's dad," and I was like, "There's no way that's Avery Johnson's father and his brother. It's his father and his brother."
I wanted to bring. Sorry, real quick. I love the guy that just won't put down his souvenir bag, and he's got one arm out there helping, but just one. He ain't putting down that bag, man. He's going to keep on keeping on there, man.
That's crazy. I couldn't imagine being in a fist fight with my own father or my kid. That's wild to me. This was my best of the weekend yesterday that we wound up not getting to because of everything that was going on. I'm so happy that you brought this up today. Look at these guys. Most of them are drunk. Yeah, just waddling around in the puddles. Just it's brutal.
It's gonna be a long flight back from Dublin to Manhattan.
Yes, it is. I was cracking up too watching some of the reporting on it because like the video goes viral and it's like, oh wait, is that Avery Johnson's dad? And then it was, maybe father got involved in a scuffle, and it was like, wait, is that his son? Is he fighting his own son? And then you start to see the Kansas State beat writers who were like, can confirm there was an altercation between the Johnsons. Is
there anything funnier than when beat reporters do the thing where they like, I can confirm this thing that everyone already knows about?
Yeah, this video that is plain and clear. Yeah.
Shout out to our boy Jackson Fuller yesterday, who we love, and we bring up his reports all the time. At like 4 p.m. yesterday, was like, hey guys, just left the U of A. I'm starting to think there was not a shooter. We're like, yeah, buddy, we got that one by now.
Good to know.
What was it? I think Rothstein does it all the time. It's like, confirmed, Arkansas playing this team in basketball. It's like, you mean the press release they put out a couple weeks ago? It's like that? Yeah. Well, he did confirm it. He's not lying.
Rothstein will also be like, here's my projection for UCA's starting five.
Yeah.
Sure, I guess that looks right to me.
Yeah. Okay, a couple real quick things because I know we'll get to our final segment and everything. I just want to also bring up this. Shout out to Jackson Arnold. He is signed with Dude Wipes.
Attaboy.
NIL deal.
Quinn, thoughts?
Yeah. Him and Barstool Mincy is about the only people I know with the Barstool Wipes. But I'm going to ask a very personal question, guys. Have you ever used any of the Dude Wipes?
No.
So I have not used Dude Wipes, but I have used flushable wet wipes to wipe my arse. Okay.
And no judgment. Just was curious. I've never gone down that road, but any of you who have, power to you. Just, I've always thought it's obviously a very lucrative business because they're doing very well. So a lot of people must use them. So just saying, just bring it up.
Have y'all ever done the bidet?
I did try it once.
I want a bidet, honestly. So if anybody's looking for a Christmas present to give me, I kind of want a bidet. Our boy Hazelwood has a bidet and he loves it.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
The Dude Wipes I could get on board with. The bidet, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, well, think about this, Curtis. If you had poop on your floor, would you use just tissue paper to clean it up, or would you probably throw some water in there?
Hence the wipes. It comes down to having liquid squirted into my ass that I would probably rather not deal with personally.
Hey, fair enough.
But I'm with you. And that's why, like the wipes, I think it makes a lot of sense. The bidet, I get it. I'd really have to do some mental gymnastics, I think, to get to that point. That's
sometimes with the wet wipes, and I don't use them every day, but someday it's like, you have one. Sometimes I'll hit the one wet wipe, and then the follow-ups are dry wipes.
There you go.
Cameron, intern Cameron, please cut that out of context for Curtis. Yeah, it's as long as it's not like you're wiping a marker where you just keep wiping and it just never goes away.
Liquid beads.
I am so glad.
It is crazy.
I mean,
so glad I brought that up.
It makes me uncomfortable to think about. I'm sure I don't know.
Hey, whatever gets the job done for all of you out there. All right.
It does the job.
Yeah. As long as it does the job and no one's having to smell you, then that's what's most important.
If Hazelwood co-signs on it, then I'm automatically a little bit more open to it. You know what I mean?
Like he does like the bidet.
He's a man's man. So
Fair enough. Fair enough. If any of you have a bidet out there, circle back with us tomorrow and we'll get some updates on the difference, do a test of it. So either way, great segue to get into the final segment here on the show, dealing with Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas, because we know, hey, summer's winding down. The weather, definitely, it's starting to feel like it's winding down. Doesn't mean you still aren't going to try to get on the boat, especially when it comes to here in the great state of Arkansas. There's nothing better than taking some nice little strolls out on the water when the sunset's setting just perfect in the fall and the weather's hitting just right. And they still are offering a great deal with Freedom Boat Club with their 3 locations in Arkansas, whether it's Greers Ferry Lake, Lake Hamilton, as well as a day on the river in Little Rock. Oh, and also they have a location, a couple of them going to be opening up here in Arkansas in the future. We'll keep you updated on that. But right now they're still running the deal where if you text Inside Arkansas, 2 words, Inside Arkansas, to 501-270-6477, that's 501-270-6477, you get 50% off your initiation fee. This is that simple. So check out their website today at freedomboatclubar.com. That's freedomboatclubar.com. All right. So we'll get to a few of your final chats here, as well as some other things. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Omri, I think is how you say it, right? It says, I went to Alumni Hall on Saturday and ran to John Daly Jr. Woo, pig baby. Yeah, JD Jr. is killing it, man. He's doing some big time things.
He's had a great summer on the course, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's great. So, shout out to him. And hey, if you're in the area for Friday, come by and see us at Alumni Hall. I mean, I may not be John Daly Jr., but we're pretty cool too.
He is John Neighbors.
Yeah. And hey, bet you John Daly Jr. didn't get you a discount for 20% off. So,
you can't see John Daly, but you can see John Daly.
Right here on Inside Arkansas Live.
Every day at noon.
I just want to end the show right now. After that, just end it. Jeez. A guy, Dre, said, father-in-law won a championship in 1984 as the QB for BYU. That's right. Yeah, he told me that. I forgot that. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
I'm trying to think. Wasn't there like a few notable ones that
yeah, Steve Young's
BYU quarterbacks?
Father-in-law. Steve Young's father-in-law. No, it's not him. But yeah, no, but BYU, dude, they had some run there with some QBs. Jim McMahon. Another great one.
The one I was thinking of. I was like, there's another notable one.
Yeah. BYU had some stuff going on there, man. Let's see. Caden says, Raffle's got to make the money to pay for the $700,000 fine we get for rushing the field after beating Notre Dame. Okay, well, just $500,000. So let's not get crazy. Unless that would be funny if like your check did that. Be like, $700,000 is actually the fine. Well, there's another $200,000 fees, credit card fees. That's going to take.
What if for the raffle that they do for Notre Dame, he's like, hey, actually, we're just going to keep the whole thing. It's not a 50-50 this time because we got to pay this.
Yep.
Ruined it for you.
If you beat Notre Dame and you're like undefeated at that point in time, I don't know many Razorback fans. Well, I say that. I think the one Razorback fan that ended up winning it would probably be like, no, I want my money.
I would certainly be like,
and you fed everybody, then yes.
Give me my $250, brother.
Yeah, same here. Let's see. Hogslop says, unpopular opinion, Yurchek has done a great job with the U of A athletic director. Every sport other than football is in the mix. Facilities are great. Coaches are great. Fans can't see past football. Hogslop, we just don't have time to dive into this whole thing. But my thing is the whole deal. Football. 90% of your revenue and everything you got going on. Football. So
football,
it is pretty important.
Resistance to the changing landscape, NIL, not being prepped and ready to roll for revenue share. Several things that could be complained about, but I will agree that if you're just looking at success of athletic department and, programs as a whole and everything, yeah, there's been some really, really good things there that he's done for sure.
He's definitely done some good things. I'll say this, Hogslop. It's almost like saying, hey, our right tackle is really, really good. He just gives up 1 sack per game. And it's like, well, if you give up 1 sack per game as an offensive lineman, you know, as Will Campbell says, you work at Amazon. And so it's like, I get your point and I agree with it. Outside of football, he has done a good job. But again, like football is what you, as an athletic director in college sports these days, that is going to be a big part of the pie. And I think we all agree that the fan base doesn't give Hunter Yurachek a ton of flowers for the Calipari thing. We can argue if that's fair or not, but I think that's part of the equation as well.
Yeah. Also, Trevor Park Sark. Sheesh. Bold prediction. College game day will be in Fayetteville twice in 3 weeks. Notre Dame, Texas A&M. You're out of your mind.
That is a
bold prediction, but you're out of your mind.
Even if Arkansas was undefeated, I don't think they would go to Fayetteville twice in 3 weeks. I think they would find another place to go. Even if Arkansas was the best team in the country.
Yeah.
Is Bama, Georgia the same weekend as the Notre Dame game? There's a huge game that same weekend.
I think it is because that's technically week 5, right? Of
5?
college football.
Yeah.
Because I believe. Let's see. I got it right here. So you have LSU and Ole Miss, which is already going to be pretty good one. Then you have Alabama, Georgia, also Oregon and Penn State.
That's gonna be a big one too. Yeah, Arkansas ain't getting that.
Zero chance.
If both teams are undefeated, we'll yell about it and say that they should do it, but it probably still wouldn't happen.
Yes.
For those wondering, the October 18th weekend with Arkansas A&M, there is SMU Clemson, which, maybe will be a game day, maybe not. Ole Miss, Georgia, very much in play for game day. Tennessee, Alabama will be very much in play for game day. Oklahoma, South Carolina, maybe. Texas Tech, Arizona State. Washington, Michigan. I don't know.
USC, Notre Dame.
USC, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
One of
That's
these
a better
days.
chance, though.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's probably not. Also, I just love seeing at the very last game of that day, of that week, Florida State at Stanford for a 9:30 kick conference game for Florida State. So
Andrew will have them boys ready.
Yeah.
But
They got burned in Hawaii over the weekend.
Man,
Stanford might have the worst FBS quarterback I learned this past weekend.
It was not good. He was not good. I'll also say this too, real quick. If I would be shocked if Arkansas gets college game day in the next 3 years. Like I would just be shocked, just because it's already you're the one SEC team that has gone the longest without hosting game day. Everyone else has hosted. Vanderbilt has since you have. So if it hasn't happened yet, and it's also I get it, it's a big deal, but it's not going to be the same without Corso, dude. Like it's just not. I know he's old, and I know we're going to talk about it, but it's just not going to be the same with Lee Corso not being on it. But that, by the way, I know we haven't talked about it. Guys, that got me emotional, that video on Saturday about Corso when he's seeing all the people telling him how awesome he is. Golly, that just got me in my feels. So that should have been the best of the weekend for me if I was on the show yesterday and we actually did it. That would have been mine.
To that point, John, I'm glad that they've handled the Corso situation the way they have, where, because we've been saying it for years, like it's kind of time to move on, but I'm glad that he's getting his flowers now. And I'm sure he will get some when he eventually passes. He'll get that's when you get a lot of flowers at the funeral. But I think I'm glad that like they're giving him kind of a celebration, a victory lap, a going away tour.
Yeah. Well, also too, and we'll spend probably more time on this later, but to me, it's also awesome because he's one of the few people, especially in this modern day of sports and personalities and whatnot, that I feel like is overwhelmingly, genuinely beloved by everybody. It's not like he's this controversial character that's like, oh, that guy's an idiot, he's stupid. He's not again, if you like Pat McAfee, it's fine, but a lot of people don't. There's a lot of people that don't like Kirk Herbstreit that do, but I feel just Corso's a guy that's like, man, the dude is just fun and his energy, and the mascot head thing, it's just going to be sad. It's just going to be sad. So, also, final one here. Austin from Mark says, Curtis, I need a Pot at the Palace version of you comparing the football team's height based on the team photo that went out today.
Every row.
Dude, people who watch the Pot at the Palace know that I will do an entire episode on any of these photos that John Calipari puts out, man. Can't get enough of it. Size them boys up,
I would love it if there was some trolling by Cal and all of them, where it's like they put out a picture of all the players, but you can't see like their feet, and some of them are like on little like stands, and then suddenly you're like, whoa, hey, wait a minute. Why is DJ Wagner almost as tall as Trevin Brazil? Just to really screw with people. That would be my hope. That'd be next level trolling. I'd appreciate. So, all right. Well, fellas, any final thoughts before we roll out of here for the day?
No, I don't think so. Good show today. Normal show. It's nice to participate in.
My final thought, I think, is that we're doing something cool Saturday morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just think we should tease that a little bit. Everyone be on the lookout. We're doing something cool Saturday morning. We'll have more details officially, but our content, we're basically going to be, we're going to evolve into a pre, during, and post-game show by the end of this whole thing. But, because we do a lot of game week previews. This is our first game week of having the Thursday stream, our Saturday pregame, our Saturday postgame. And so it's like everyone kind of be on the lookout. What we do this week is just what we're going to do, for the season, which is exciting.
That's right. No, we're going to have a lot of things going on that we're going to talk about and get announced here soon. So just be sure to tune in and subscribe to us here at Inside Arkansas. Right here on our YouTube page. You can also check out our social media at Inside Arkansas as well. check out our website, InsideArkansas.com. You can also make sure that you subscribe and listen to all of our podcasts in the audio form, wherever podcasts are found, whether it's Inside Arkansas Live, Pod at the Palace, Bombastic Podcast, the Inside Arkansas Football Show, all that great stuff. And we're going to keep it going from there. So that'll do it for us today. For Andrew Ellis, as well as Curtis Wilkerson, I am John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel, tomorrow at noon. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. We'll see you then.